everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rachel from Evelyn and Peter, and today I have the Moonblush Throw crochet pattern to share with you guys. So as I was working up my Moonblush pullover, I decided that I had to have a blanket version as well. So I used Lion Brand's Plush twist yarn, which is just a really soft, cozy, bulky blanket yarn. They have lots of different colors for that, and it works up beautifully. I loved using it. You can get the kit, which includes all the yarn plus a copy of the free printable PDF download of the pattern, and then you can swap out your yarn colors. Make sure you're subscribed to my newsletter because I'll let you know whenever there's a really good sale happening with the kits or with my patterns, and you guys will be the first to know when I have anything new coming out. You can just head to my blog to subscribe. The free pattern for this is also on my blog as well, enpcrochet.com. You can pull that up and follow along with the written pattern as you watch the video tutorial. And then it's also available in my Etsy shop and in my Ravelry shop. So a little bit about the pattern. Obviously it just starts at the bottom and is worked all the way up. You'll recognize some stitches from the Moonblush pullover, and then obviously I added in some more and extended all of that, kind of just repeating what I did but switching it up. There's some variation in it, but it's pretty much all of the same stitches throughout, just placed randomly throughout the throw. So a bunch of different variations of half double crochet stitches is what you'll see throughout the blanket. I thought it would be fun to just kind of showcase all the different textures you can make using different ways of working up half double crochet. And then after that you just add on a really simple border, two rounds around the blanket, and that is it. It's really easy to do and it's really fun to make as well. I hope you guys like this pattern. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. So for this design, you are going to be using bulky weight yarn. I'm using Lion Brand's Cover Story Posh Twist yarn. This is a really soft, bulky blanket yarn. You can find all the exact yardage that you need on my blog. We're going to be using 7 skeins. They have lots of pretty colors in this. If you want to get the kit, you can grab that. You're going to be working it up with a 9mm crochet hook, a needle to weave in your ends, a pair of scissors, and then a measuring tape. And we're going to start off with a slip knot at the bottom of the blanket. So go ahead and wrap that yarn around your fingers, insert your hook, pull tight to secure onto your hook. And now you can either start off with a very long chain, or you can chain 2 and then work a foundation half double crochet stitch here, which is what I recommend. So if you don't know how to do it, you can just work up the chains that are in the written pattern. If you're doing the foundation, you can yarn over, insert your hook into the back bump of that very first chain that we made, yarn over, pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, and then yarn over, pull through the first loop only. We still have 3 loops, and then yarn over, pull through all 3, and that is one foundation half double crochet stitch, and this just combines our starting chain and our row 1 together. Now you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into the bottom of that stitch that you just made. Make sure you get it under both of those loops there, and then you're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first loop only, yarn over, pull through 3, and that is our second foundation half double crochet. Again, yarn over, insert your hook into the bottom of that stitch that you just made, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 3. And you can just continue working up these foundation half double crochet stitches until you have a total of 112. And then again, if you are not working up the foundation stitches and you want to chain, you could work up 113 chains and then work a half double crochet in the second chain from the hook and in each chain all the way back down for the same stitch count. Okay, so now you should have 112 stitches, and we just completed row 1 of the blanket, and now you can go ahead and chain 2, and then we are going to turn our work. The chain 2 does not count as a stitch. So we will be working our very first stitch into the first stitch of the row. So we're just going to work a half double crochet into that first space. So yarn over, insert your hook into the top of the first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over, pull through all three for one half double crochet. And then we're going to skip over the next stitch, and then in the following work our second half double crochet. So now we have this skipped stitch here, and we're going to work a half double crochet into that space, so not into the stitch but into the space above it, working a half double crochet around the post of the stitch that you just made. So you'll just work a half double crochet around it just like you normally would, except you're working around the post instead of in the stitch. Again, you'll skip the next stitch, work a half double crochet into the following, and now we're going to work a half double crochet around that post. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all three. And we're just going to repeat this across. So skip a stitch, work one half double crochet, and then yarn over, insert your hook into that space around the post of the stitch you just made, and work a half double crochet stitch. So it's really simple to do. It's kind of just like working a sideways half double crochet, and you're just going to keep repeating this across. So skip a stitch, work a half double into the top of the next, and then go back and work a half double around the post of the stitch you just made, working it through that space, and go ahead and repeat all the way to the end of the row, and I will meet you at the end to show you how to finish it. Okay, so we're coming up to the end of the row here, and we have one stitch remaining, and you're just going to finish with a half double crochet into the top of that last stitch to complete row 2. So now we are going to begin row 3, and you can go ahead and chain 2 and turn your work. The chain 2 does not count as a stitch, and we're going to be doing some extended half double crochet stitches now in row 3. So yarn over, insert your hook into the very first stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the first loop only, 3 loops on your hook still, and then yarn over, pull through all 3, and that completes one extended half double crochet stitch. So now we're going to do that in each stitch across. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first loop only, yarn over, pull through all 3. It's kind of like a hybrid stitch in between a half double crochet and a double crochet, and you're just going to work one into each stitch. Make sure when you are above the spaces from the row below, you're not accidentally putting it in the space. You're going to want to work it into the actual stitch itself, and then you can just continue all the way across, and I will meet you at the end of the row. Okay, so I'm just going to finish up with my final extended half double crochet into that very last stitch. Our stitch count is remaining the same, and then we are just going to go ahead and chain 2 and turn our work. And now for row 4, we're just repeating row 2. So the row that we did our half double crochets, skipped one and then worked it around the post, we're going to do that exact same thing in this row. So again, you start off by working a half double crochet into that very first stitch, and then you'll skip the following and work a half double crochet into the next, and then you'll just go back and work a half double crochet around the post of the stitch that you just made, and then you can just go ahead and repeat that all the way across, skipping a stitch, working a half double, and then a half double around the post. When you get to the end of the row, finish with a half double crochet in the last stitch, chain 2, turn your work, and then go ahead and work a row of extended half double crochet all the way back to this end, and I will meet you after you work up those 2 rows. So now we've just completed row 5, which was the row 3 repeat, where we did the extended half double crochet, and now you can chain 2 and turn your work. And we're going to be working extended half double crochet stitches in between the posts of the stitches from the row below. So instead of working into the top of the stitch like you normally would, you're just going to separate those stitches and just work the stitch into the space between the stitches below the top of it. and we're just working extended half doubles here. So here was my first one in between those first 2 stitches. And then the next, I'm just going to insert my hook in between the next 2, work an extended half double, and do the same thing all the way across. So you would just locate where you normally would put it and then just move your hook down further so that you have that whole hook going in between those 2 stitches instead of the top of it. Go ahead and work all the way across the row, and I will meet you at the end to show you how to finish this row. Okay, when you get to the end of row 6, your last extended half double crochet will just be in between the starting chain 2 and that last stitch from the previous row. So make sure you don't forget to do that very last one just before that starting chain 2. Your stitch count will stay the same. You can chain 2 and turn, and then for rows 7, 8, 9, and 10, you're just going to continue repeating this same row, working your extended half doubles in between the stitches, chaining 2 and turning. Okay, so you should have 10 rows complete, and we're about to begin row 11 here. So for row 11, just chain 2 and turn your work, and then we're just going to work a half double crochet into each stitch all the way across. So no more extended here. Now we're just working a normal half double. So yarn over, insert your hook into the top of that very first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over, pull through all 3. So now we're working into the tops of the stitches and just doing normal half double crochets all the way to the end of the row. Okay, ignore my little swatch here. We had some technical difficulties with this portion of the video. So this is the start of row 12. We just finished row 11 where we worked 1 half double crochet in each stitch across. Now I'm going to show you row 12 on this little swatch. So chain 2 and turn your work, and then work a half double crochet into that very first stitch. And then you're going to work a half double crochet into the stitch from 2 rows below into the following. So instead of working it into the top of that next stitch, you're just working it into the top of the one from the row below to create that spiked stitch. Then you're going to chain 1 and skip 1. And then again, work a half double crochet into the following stitch 2 rows below. And then we're just going to continue repeating that across the row. So chain 1, skip 1, 1 half double crochet in the following from 2 rows below. When you're working your chains, it's very important to not pull them too tightly. You want to keep them somewhat loose. I know it's really easy to tug your tension and work a chain stitch so that it's really tight. You don't want to do that here. You want to keep it loose as you go and try and keep your tension with those chain stitches nice and loose. So just continue repeating this all the way across. Again, yours is obviously going to be many more stitches since you're working it on the main blanket. So I'm just going to work my way to the end here and show you how to finish the row. So I'm going to make one more chain 1 because I have 2 stitches remaining still. So I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm just going to finish with a normal half double crochet into the top of the last stitch of the row. So chain 1, skip over, and then in that very last stitch, I'm just working a regular half double crochet into the top of it now instead. So not 2 rows below, but just into the top. And that completes our row 12. And now we're going to be working rows 13, 14, and 15 just like this one. So you can chain 2 and turn. And then again, you're going to work a half double crochet into the very first stitch. And then we're going to work a half double crochet into the stitch from 2 rows below. So you can see the stitch that we skipped over. That's the one you're going to work your spike stitch into. So locate the top of that stitch and then work a half double crochet into it. And then now you're going to chain 1 and skip 1, again keeping your chains loose. And then in the following, work a half double crochet from 2 rows below. So we're doing the same exact thing here, chaining 1, skipping 1, 1 half double crochet into the stitch from 2 rows below all the way across. Okay, so I'm coming up to the end of the row here. I'm chaining 1, skipping 1, and then finishing with a regular half double crochet into the top of that last stitch. So now for the next 2 rows, you're going to do the same exact thing, chain 2, turn your work, and then just continue to repeat that row 12. So you start with the half double, and then you work your spike, and then chain 1, skip 1, work it away all the way to the end, finish with the half double crochet in the last, and then you can chain 2 and work your way back as well. So you need to do 2 more rows here, and then I will meet you back here and show you how to do row 16 because it's slightly different. For row 16, we're going to chain 2, work a half double crochet into the very first stitch, and then work a half double crochet into 2 rows below. And then now instead of chaining 1 and skipping 1, you're just going to work a half double crochet into the top of the next stitch, and then a half double crochet into the stitch from 2 rows below, and continue repeating that across, half double crochet into the top of the next stitch, and then a half double crochet into the stitch from 2 rows below. So we've just replaced the chain 1 now with just a regular half double crochet into the top of that current row instead of 2 rows below. And then you just repeat that all the way across to the end. Okay, we're coming up to the end of the row here, and now I'm just going to finish with a half double crochet in the last stitch. So we did a half double crochet into the second to last, and now we're finishing with a half double crochet into the last as well. And then you can just go ahead and chain 2 and turn your work to start row 17. Okay, so we just finished row 16, our last spike stitch row, and you can go ahead and chain 2 and turn your work. And now we're just going to be repeating row 11, which is just working 1 half double crochet into each stitch across the row, into the tops of the stitches like normal, and you're going to do this for rows 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. So we'll do 5 rows total here of working 1 half double crochet in each stitch across. When you get to the end, just go ahead and chain 2 and turn your work and work your way back, and I will meet you guys after you complete those 5 half double crochet rows. Okay, so now we are beginning row 22. We just finished those 5 half double crochet rows. For row 22, you can chain 2 and turn your work. And now we're going to be working a half double crochet into the very first stitch. And then we're going to skip the next stitch and work a half double crochet into the following. And then we're going to go back and work a half double crochet into this stitch that we skipped. So it's similar to the one where we worked it around the post, except this time we're going to work it into the actual skipped stitch. So locate that skipped stitch, insert your hook into it, and work a half double crochet as normal, and it creates a cute little X looking stitch. Now we're going to skip the next one, again work a half double crochet, and then go back and work a half double crochet around or into that skipped stitch. So very, very similar to what we did before. You're just working into the skipped stitch now, and you're just going to repeat that all the way across. So skip a stitch, 1 half double crochet, go back, work a half double crochet into the skipped one, and repeat across the row, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, once you get to the end of the row, you should have 1 stitch remaining, and you're just going to finish with 1 half double crochet into that last stitch to finish off. And then you can go ahead and just chain 2 and turn your work to begin row 23. So for this row, you're again just going to work half double crochet stitches. So into that very first stitch, you can work a half double crochet, and then work 1 half double crochet in each remaining stitch across the row, and then we're going to do 5 rows of half double crochet again. So when you get to the end, just chain 2 and turn, work your way back, 1 half double crochet in each stitch, and do this for a total of 5 rows, so rows 23 through 27. Okay, so now we are beginning row 28. You can chain 2 and turn your work, and we're going to be doing some post stitches in this row. So we're going to start off by working 1 half double crochet into the first stitch. And now we're going to work a front post half double crochet around the next stitch. So instead of working into the top of that next stitch, you're going to yarn over, and then you're going to insert your hook from front to back and then back to front, placing the post of that stitch onto your hook. And then you are going to just work your half double crochet like normal, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over, pull through all 3, and that is 1 front post half double crochet. Now around the next one, we're going to do a back post half double. So yarn over, insert your hook from back to front, and then from front to back, placing the post of that stitch onto the back of your hook. Now you can see it's pushed to the back, and you're going to work a half double crochet around it, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3, and we're just going to alternate those 2 stitches all the way across. So the next one would be a front post, yarn over, insert your hook from front to back and back to front, just sliding that stitch onto your hook, working your half double like normal. And then for the next one, yarn over, put your hook from the back to the front and the front to the back, and working your half double crochet like normal. Go ahead and just continue repeating, alternating between a front post half double and a back post half double, and I will meet you at the end of the row. Okay, so I'm coming up to the end of the row here. I have 1 stitch remaining. We don't want to forget to do our final stitch, and we're just going to finish with a half double crochet into the top of that last stitch of the row to finish us off. And then for the following 2 rows, we're just going to repeat row 11, which is just half double crochet in each stitch. So you can chain 2 and turn your work, and then just go ahead and work 1 half double crochet into each of these stitches all the way across. When you get to the end of the row, go ahead and chain 2 and turn your work again, and then work your half double crochet stitches all the way back, just working into the tops of the stitch, and I will meet you after that second row of half double crochet is complete. Okay, so I just finished my second row of half double crochet. Now we are going to repeat the post stitch row. So we're just repeating row 28, doing the front post and the back post stitches. So you can chain 2 and turn your work, and we're going to do it the exact same way. You can start off by working a half double crochet into the top of the first stitch. And then again, we will work a front post half double crochet in the following. So yarn over, insert from front to back, back to front, work your half double, and then a back post half double crochet in the next, and then just continue across the row, repeating a front post and a back post, and I will meet you at the end of the row. Okay, make sure you finish with that half double crochet into the last stitch, and then you can chain 2 and turn. And then we're just going to be working 5 more rows of half double crochet here. So we're beginning row 32, and we're just repeating row 11 for 5 rows. So in that very first stitch, you can work your half double, and then you'll work a half double into each stitch all the way across. When you get to the end, chain 2 and turn and work your way back, and then just go ahead and do that for 5 rows, and I will meet you after the 5 rows are complete. Okay, so we just completed our 5 rows of half double crochet. We're beginning row 37 here. We're going to chain 2 and turn. Row 37 is a row 22 repeat. So for that one, we are going to work a half double crochet into the first stitch, and then we will skip the next stitch and work a half double crochet into the following. And then we're going to go back and work 1 half double crochet into the stitch that we skipped. So we've already done this one, and we're just repeating row 22 here. So work your half double. You're gonna skip one, work your half double, go back, work your half double into that skipped stitch, not in the space, but in the top of the stitch, and just repeat that all the way across the row. Okay, we're coming up to the end of the row here, and I'm just going to finish with one half double crochet into that last stitch to finish it. And now you can go ahead and chain 2 and turn your work. And for the next several rows, we're just going to be repeating row 3. Row 3 is an extended half double crochet stitch. So you just work an extended half double into that very first stitch. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first loop only, and then yarn over, pull through all 3. And you're just going to do that into each stitch across for row 38. And then for rows 39, 40, 41, 42, and 43, you're going to do the same thing. So we have 6 rows total here of just repeating row 3, which is the extended half double crochet row. So go ahead and work your way across. When you get to the end, you can chain 2 and turn, and then do that same row 5 more times after that for a total of 6. And I will meet you back here after that. Okay, so now you can chain 2 and turn your work. For this row, we're going to be working some half double crochet stitches, but we're going to be doing them in the 3rd loop. So for the very first one, we'll work a half double crochet into the top of that first stitch, just like you normally would under both loops. And now for the remaining rows across, except for at the very end, we're going to work it into the 3rd. So if you look at the top of your row here, you can see the front and the back loop, which creates a V, and then the line that's closest to us at the very bottom that's going across, that's the 3rd loop. So you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into that 3rd loop, and yarn over, pull up a loop, and pull through all 3. Again, yarn over, insert your hook into the 3rd loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. So make sure you're putting it into the 3rd loop and not into either the front or the back loop. So when you're looking at that top, you'll have a V look from the front and the back loop, which is the top of the stitch. And then the line that's running across all the way on the bottom is that 3rd loop. So when we work into it, it gives us a fun textured line on the other side because it pushes those front and back loops to the front of the blanket. When you get to the end of the row, your last stitch will be a half double crochet into the top of the stitch, not that 3rd loop. And then when you are finished with this row, you can chain 2 and turn, and then just go ahead and work normal half double crochet stitches all the way back to this end. So 3rd loop on the way down, and then work normal half double crochet into the tops of the stitches on the way back, and I will meet you here after that. Okay, so for the next 2 rows, we are just going to be repeating what we just did. So you can chain 2 and turn your work, and then we'll work a half double crochet into that very first stitch. But then for all the other stitches, we will be working our half double crochet into the 3rd loop only, all the way until we get to the end of the row, and then we will finish with a regular half double crochet into the top of that last stitch. So just repeating what we just did, and then I will meet you once this row is complete. Okay, so now we are on row 47, and we're just doing our normal half double crochet row. So just continuing doing the same thing. What we did in the previous rows, chain 2 and then work a half double crochet into each stitch all the way across. And then when you get to the end of the row, you can go ahead and chain 2 and turn, and then you'll just do a row 2 repeat. So row 2 again is the rows down here that we did at the start of the blanket, where you skip one, work a half double, and go back and work a half double around the post of that stitch. So if you need to rewatch, you can go back and rewatch at the beginning of the video, but just do that all the way across for row 48. And then for row 49, we're just doing normal half double crochet stitches. So chain 2 and then work a half double crochet into the top of each stitch across the row. When you get to the end, you can chain 2 and turn and work half double crochet all the way back, and then work a third row of half double crochet. So rows 49, 50, and 51, we're just repeating row 11, which is just our half double crochet row. So go ahead and work those up, and then I will meet you back here after that section is complete. Okay, so you can go ahead and chain 2 and turn your work. Now for the next 2 rows, you're going to repeat row 12. That was the spike stitch row where you did the half double crochet 2 rows below and you chain 1 and skip 1. You're going to do that row 2 times, and then you will do the row 16 repeat. So another spike stitch row, but you have that half double crochet instead of the chain 1. So just 3 rows of it, and then you're going to do 3 rows of normal half double crochet, and then you will repeat these spike stitches again for 3 more rows. So you can see here I have row 12 repeat, row 12 repeat, row 16 repeat, then 3 rows of half double crochet, then a row 12, and a row 16 repeat. Feel free to go back and rewatch those rows if you need a reminder, but we have just completed row 60 here. Okay, so now we are starting row 61 here, so you can just chain 2 and turn your work. And now we're just repeating row 11, which is just our normal half double crochet row. So you can work 1 half double crochet into the top of each stitch across, and we'll do this for rows 61, 62, 63, and 64, just working 1 half double crochet in each stitch. When you get to the end of the row, you can chain 2 and turn and work your way back. So do this for 61, 62, 63, and 64, so 4 rows total, and I will meet you here after that. Okay, so now we have our half double crochet rows, and then for our next row we're going to do a row 2 repeat. So for that one, again, it's just chain 2, half double crochet into the first, skip a stitch, work a half double crochet into the following, and then go back and work a half double crochet around the post of the stitch that you just did, and you can repeat that across the row. So skip 1, 1 half double crochet, and then 1 half double crochet around the post, and work this all the way across the row and finish with 1 half double crochet into that last stitch of the row. Then you can go ahead and chain 2 and turn, and then just work 2 half double crochet rows. So I just finished my 2 half double crochet rows here, and then again I'm going to just repeat row 2. So we'll do another row where we're working the half double crochet around the posts of the previous, and then once we get to the end, finish with a half double crochet into that last stitch. And then for the next 4 rows after that, you'll just repeat row 11, which is just our normal half double crochet rows. So after this one, work 4 rows of half double crochet, and then once you have those 4 rows, you'll work 1 more row 2 repeat, and then I will meet you here after that. So you can see here I did my 4 rows, and then I did 1 more row of the row 2 repeat, and that was row 73 that I just completed, and now we are on row 74. So for that one, you just chain 2, and we're just repeating row 3, which is extended half double crochet. So now we're doing our extended instead of regular half double crochet, and you can just work 1 extended half double into each stitch all the way across for row 74. And we're going to do this for several rows. So rows 74 through 81, you're just working extended half double crochet stitches, chaining 2 and turning and working your way back. So you can see here I have all of my rows complete. And now we are moving on to row 82, which is just a row 22 repeat. So after you have those 8 rows of extended half double complete, you can repeat row 22. So you'll chain 2, work a half double crochet into that first stitch, then you'll skip the next stitch, work a half double crochet into the following, and then go back and work 1 half double crochet into that skipped stitch. So we've already done this one, it's just a repeat, so you should be familiar with it, and you'll just continue to repeat that across. So skip 1, 1 half double, go back and work it in the skip stitch all the way to the end. When you have 1 stitch remaining, you'll finish with a half double crochet into that stitch to complete the row. Then you can go ahead and chain 2, and then you'll work 7 rows of just normal half double crochet stitches after that. So go ahead and work those up, and then I will meet you back here after those rows are complete. Okay, we are on row 90 now. So for row 90, that's just a row 28 repeat. So we work a half double crochet into the top of the first stitch, and now we're doing front post and back post stitches. So you'll work the front post half double crochet around the next, and then a back post half double crochet around the following, and then just go ahead and alternate between the two, one front post and one back post half double crochet all the way across, finishing with a regular half double crochet into that last stitch of the row. Then chain 2 and turn, and for your final row you're just working half double crochet stitches back across. And we have finished the main body of the blanket now, so we need to go straight into working the border. So don't forget to turn your work after you complete row 91, and then you'll chain 1, and we will work single crochet stitches all the way around. So in that first stitch you can work a single crochet, and you'll do 1 into each stitch all the way across the top of the blanket. And I will meet you at the next corner so I can show you how to work the corners of the border. So just go ahead and work your way all the way across the top. When you get to the last stitch here at the top of the blanket, we're going to work 3 single crochet into it. So here's my first one, and then I'm going to work a second one into the same spot, and then finally a third one into the same spot as well. And this just helps us to round that corner so that we can start working our way down the side of the blanket now. If you want, you can put a stitch marker into that center stitch, so the center of the 3, so you don't get it mixed up. So if you need that, go ahead and do that now, and then you'll just continue working down the side of the blanket. It's really important on the sides to not use too many stitches. You're really going to probably need less than what you think. You want to space it out enough so that your blanket isn't going to pull or be wavy on the sides. If you work too many stitches, it will be too wavy and not lay flat. So just try and spread out those stitches. You'll probably only need a couple for every few rows that you do, but if you find that you have too many, it's super easy to pull back and restart and just add in less. The exact stitch count does not matter here. And then each corner, don't forget to work 3 stitches into each corner to help turn the corner, and you can put a stitch marker into the center of each of them so you don't get confused. And then when you get to the end here, so we've worked our way all the way around, I'm back to where I started, and I'm just going to finish with 2 single crochet into the same spot as my first single crochet made, so that this corner also has 3 stitches in it. And then I'm going to finish by slip stitching into the very first single crochet to join, and then we are going to turn our work so that we can work 1 more round of the border. So just chain 1 and turn. And we're going to start off by working those 3 single crochet into the first stitch. So work your 3 stitches all into that same spot in the first stitch there, and then you'll work a single crochet into each of these stitches all the way across until you reach the next corner. If you have a stitch marker there, you'll know where to work your 3 stitches. If not, you can locate just that center single crochet of the group of 3, work 3 stitches into that, and just repeat the same process all the way around. 1 single crochet in each stitch. Unless you're at a corner, then work 3 into it until you get back to the beginning of the round here. So go ahead and work your way all the way around. Okay, when you get to the end, you can go ahead and slip stitch into that very first single crochet that you made to join, and then fasten off your work. And that is it for this blanket. You can just use your needle and weave in any remaining ends that you have. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video tutorial.